Alright fan, what is changing with Clash Mini and why?
Well, we are not going to allow players to move their minis between rounds.
That's right, my friends, the core gameplay change coming in Update 7 is the no movement of minis and heroes between rounds. And we do have some brand new gameplay showcasing these changes and additional features that weren't mentioned in the small talk. So starting off, you're all obviously going to notice this huge bubble on the battle board. And this is just to encase the hero of your opponent, just so you know exactly what opponent you're going to be facing at round start, just to highlight it a bit better, which actually I think looks absolutely awesome. So as the round starts and you go to move your hero, you'll notice this red border on the mini board, and this is to showcase the actual radius of your hero, because you place your hero and minis now when they're locked in place. So this feature is to show the radius of your hero at the start of a round. And again, guys, just as you go to place the golden giant, this is going to be the case again with this red border showcasing the radius of the mini. So the round starts, your opponents place their minis, you've placed your minis. Everything just battles it out as usual, but you've now got to take into consideration where your opponents place their minis and what minis they're using and where you've placed your minis, because going forward in the next rounds, you're not going to be able to move your place minis, nor are you going to be able to move your hero as well, guys. So moving into round 2, if you take a look at the bottom right corner, you can actually see you've got 10 elixir saved up in your elixir collection. And if you quickly take a look at the top left corner, you can actually see how much elixir your opponent's got saved up as well. You actually get additional elixir for losing rounds, and you get an additional elixir for winning rounds, but not as much as you do for losing. But do remember, guys, the things you see inside this gameplay and the numbers and the damage output and everything else you see is subject to change before the update does drop. So moving into round 2, you can see we're going for the upgrade to the Spear Goblin, and you can now see a simplified menu of the upgrades available for your mini. You can see it break down much more simpler, and you've got the additional box on the right explaining what each upgrade now does. And also a new little feature there, when the upgrade does go onto the Spear Goblin, you can see the additional stats from the upgrade appear above the mini on the battle board. And also, if you notice, you've got additional rerolls available in the bottom right corner for 1 elixir, which seems like a huge W in my opinion. So the round starts. Again, we've got our upgraded minis, our minis placed. Our opponent's minis were where he placed them in the previous round, so we're able to build our deck and our upgrades based on that, trying to outthink, trying to outsmart our opponent. And there we go, we come in with that win in round number 2. And also, if you guys didn't notice, gizmos aren't going to be available anymore inside duels and rumbles. Gizmos are solely going to be locked to the events modes moving forward in Update 7. So moving on to the next rounds, we're going to pull the Ice Wizard onto the battle board, and you can see this red line coming from the Ice Wizard to the Golden Giant, and this is to indicate that if you place that mini on that tile, the Ice Wizard will target the Golden Giant first. So the minis are being deployed, and if you actually click on minis that were deployed in later rounds, it comes up with this symbol indicating that you can't move that mini. And fun fact, my friends, the only mini that's going to be able to move inside the game from Update 7 is, you guessed it, the Natureborn. But do bear in mind, you're only going to be able to move her once through the entirety of a match. And yes, just in case you guys were wondering, you cannot resell minis. Once you have placed a mini on the battle board, it is locked in position to the end of the game, so do place them wisely, Clashers. But that's not all. We also have a little bit of information regarding the special tiles that's going to be implemented to the game in Update 7.
Well, tiles will play a bigger part in the next update because tiles helps with placement. In the next update, players will have the first tile spawning at turn 1, which help with the initial placement. And then on turn 3, we will spawn a second tile that can help players turn the game around.
So it looks like we're going to have 2 special tiles spawning on the battle boards, one at the start of the round and one at the later stages of the match, just to spice the gameplay up a bit. Who knows what the special tiles are going to be, but I do think we're going to get some new ones added to the game in Update 7. So just while we're on the subject of the tiles on the boards, and we did see a sneak peek of the Windy Plains board in today's video, and the way it looks now, in my opinion, looks absolutely fantastic. The team has put a lot of time and resources into developing the graphics of the game, and I just want to give them a shout out because I think it looks superb, along with some of the mini reworks and the way they've polished the minis off. Looks great in my humble opinion as well, guys. So the $1 million question everyone in the community is going to be asking is why implement these changes now going into Update 7.
And the reason behind this change is because we hear players' feedback. Players told us that the game is too random and do not have enough depth, so we decide to not allow players to move. By doing that, players know exactly where enemy troops are, so they know how to play against them in the next round.
Yeah, so I do agree with Fan on what he's saying inside of the small talk. And don't get me wrong, guys, when we first heard these changes, we were all taken back a bit and we thought these are some massive changes going into Update 7. A bold move, if you will. But I do think it's going to be a W change. I do think we are going to need time to adjust. I've been playing the game lately with these changes in mind, and all I can see is positives coming from these changes. I really think it's going to add a major strategic depth to the game, and that's what the team's open for. And yeah, any questions, any comments, let me know in the comment section down below, guys. Let's spark up a discussion, get some feedback going. We can get that given to the Clash Mini team. And if you did enjoy this video, consider dropping me a like down below. If you want to see more Clash Mini content like this, all the sneak peeks coming for Update 7, feel free to subscribe. We'll catch you guys in the next video.